You know, every 4 years, the entire world just stops for the FIFA World Cup. Billions of us, right? We're all glued to our screens watching one single ball decide the fate of nations. But have you ever actually stopped to think about where that ball comes from? Well, let me tell you, the answer is this incredible story of crisis, ambition, and a huge technological gamble that completely changed an entire industry.
So picture this. It's the legendary Maracana Stadium, and it is packed to the rafters. The air is absolutely electric. Down on the pitch, you've got Germany and Argentina locked in this epic battle. And right there at the center of it all is the real star of the show, the iconic Adidas Brazuca, the official match ball. It's more than just a ball, right? It's a symbol of global unity, of peak athletic performance.
Okay, so if you had to guess, you'd probably say Germany, right? Or maybe China, or even Brazil itself. But the truth? It's way more surprising. That high-tech football, being kicked around by the world's greatest players on the world's biggest stage, was made in a city you've probably never even heard of, Sialkot, Pakistan. And how it got there? Oh, that is one heck of a story.
So our story really kicks off with one man, a guy named Khawaja Masood Akhtar. Now, what's interesting is he wasn't a football player or some big sports executive. Nope, he was a civil engineer who, since he was a kid, had a passion for making footballs. So in 1991, he decided to start his own small company. Now, to really get this, we gotta rewind to the 80s. See, Sialkot was already the place for footballs, producing something like 70% of the world's hand-stitched balls. It was the undisputed capital. And into this world, Akhtar starts Forward Sports with just 50 workers. But the real game changer? That came in 1994. After just 3 years, they earned the trust of a giant, Adidas. That contract, well, that was their ticket to the big leagues. Suddenly, they're supplying balls for top tournaments in Germany and France.
But just as they were on the rise, the entire foundation of Sialkot's industry started to crack. A massive crisis was about to hit, one that threatened to wipe them and the city's reputation completely off the map.
I mean, just look at these numbers. It's crazy. From dominating 70% of the global market, Sialkot's share just plummeted to a mere 18% by 2007. This wasn't some slow decline, you know. This was a catastrophic collapse. So what on earth happened? Well, the main reason was a series of really damaging allegations about child labor. And those accusations sent shockwaves through the entire industry. International brands, terrified of the bad press, just pulled their contracts and ran. And the fallout was immediate and it was devastating. 8,000 people lost their jobs, and Sialkot's legacy was left in tatters. So, right in the middle of all this chaos, Khawaja Masood Akhtar made a stand. While other people might have cut corners just to survive, he did the opposite. He doubled down on his principles. He vowed that his factory would be a model of ethical labor, ensuring zero child labor and guaranteeing fair rights for all his workers. It was such a bold move, but it was one that would ultimately rebuild trust. But Akhtar knew that being ethical on its own wasn't going to be enough. The world of making footballs was changing fast. To survive, he didn't just have to be better. He had to be smarter. He had to innovate. You see, the whole industry was moving away from the traditional hand-stitched balls that Sialkot was famous for. The future was this new technology called thermal bonding, basically a mechanized process that used heat to fuse the ball's panels together seamlessly. It was way faster, way more precise, and it created a ball with much higher performance. But, of course, there was a catch. A Japanese company had already patented the technology back in 2003, which meant Forward Sports couldn't just go out and buy it. So what did they do? They did something truly remarkable. They decided to invent their own. After years of intense R&D, by 2007, they'd cracked the code. They engineered their very own thermal bonding technology completely from scratch. And the result of all that hard work? It was just astonishing. By 2008, thanks to their new mechanized processes, Forward Sports was churning out 700,000 footballs a month. Think about that. They had gone from a small workshop to the largest football producer on the entire planet. Their comeback was in full swing. But their biggest test was still yet to come. So back in 2006, Khawaja Masood Akhtar went to the World Cup in Germany just as a fan. And surrounded by the roar of the crowd, he formed this new dream,
One day, he wanted to make the official ball for this very tournament. Well, in 2013, his chance finally arrived, but it came with an almost impossible demand.
So here's what happened. The original contract for the 2014 World Cup ball was actually with a Chinese company, but they ran into production problems. Seizing the opportunity, Akhtar invites the Adidas executives to his factory in Sialkot. But when they got there, well, their faces said it all. To them, the factory just looked old school. They were super skeptical that this place could produce the high-tech bazooka.
Sensing their doubt, Akhtar made this incredibly audacious gamble. He promised he could deliver, but Adidas gave him an ultimatum that was just insane. They said, prove it. Build a brand new, state-of-the-art production facility and do it in just 33 days. A project that should have taken 6 months.
What happened next was this unbelievable race against time. I mean, Akhtar and his team worked day and night. They invested a ton in new machinery, installed robotic arms, and put their cutting-edge bonding technology into place. For 33 straight days, they poured everything they had into transforming their facility. It was, without a doubt, the most important month of their lives.
So the gamble, the sleepless nights, the immense pressure, it all came down to one single moment. A moment that wouldn't just define the company, but would rewrite the story of an entire city and even a country on the global stage.
They did it. The Adidas officials came back and they were completely blown away. Ford Sports won the contract. They got the order for all 3,000 official match balls for the 2014 World Cup, plus millions more for the retail market. Sialkot was officially back on top.
For Akhtar, this was the ultimate personal victory. He actually watched the final match from the very room where the bazooka was born. Seeing his creation at the center of the world's biggest sporting event was, as he put it, just an incredibly emotional moment. That dream he had in a stadium in Germany 8 years earlier, it had finally come true. And get this wasn't just a one-time miracle. The bazooka was only the beginning. Ford Sports went on to produce the official match balls for the 2018 World Cup in Russia and the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. That's 3 consecutive World Cups, all relying on footballs made in Pakistan. Incredible. The impact of this success was just massive. It completely restored Sialkot's reputation as a global center of excellence. It earned Akhtar Pakistan's highest civilian honors, and, maybe most importantly, it showed the world that made in Pakistan could be a brand of quality, of innovation, and of incredible resilience. You know, the story of Ford Sports is just such a powerful lesson in how conviction can actually become a competitive advantage, and how innovating under extreme pressure can literally redefine an industry. It's a reminder that a commitment to both principles and progress can turn a small, local dream into a world-class symbol of excellence. And it really makes you wonder, right? What other global success stories are just waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places?